Hey, it's Willie Armelini from Flowers and Scents with your industry buzz. Today we're going to interview David Register from Ferntrust. Ferntrust is a big grower of greens in Seville, Florida. So without further ado, let me introduce David Register. Good morning, David Register. How are you this morning?
I'm great. Beautiful rainy morning here in Central Florida.
Yeah, it looks like the Panhandle is going to get its share of problems this morning.
Yeah, I'm thankful that it's went around us, and I feel for the people out there. It's definitely brought us some extra humidity, though.
Yeah, for sure. And it stopped in the Keys on the way before it got there and flooded a couple of our houses in the Keys. So that was just with rain, but and it's getting worse up there. So anyway, to a more present situation. So you have a new program going on, or not you, but the fern industry, I guess, has got a new program that has been sort of spawned out of COVID. I don't know, but why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, the Farm Fresh collection is something that's has some really high-end quality images featuring some beautiful arrangements from Brooke Rollerson, and it's available to purchase to retail florists all over the world through the website of floralgreensfarmers.com, and also David Kaplan at
Above All Flowers.
Above All Flowers. Thank you for helping me out there. He's got all the info on it and is selling it also for us. So take a look at it, check it out, and hopefully it will help your business. Well, it kind of goes back farther than COVID, and we were the Floral Greens Farmers of Florida, which Ferntrust is a member of, had been working on something to try to bring the greens to the forefront a little more, the greens that we grow here in Florida. You know, a lot of times we're kind of a background player in a lot of arrangements. And so we were trying to work on ways to show the beauty of our greenery and the variety, and that we're not just leatherleaf, that we have, 100 different types of foliage that we're growing here in our area. And as individuals, it was difficult for us to get that message out. But together, we were able to work with very talented designer, Brooke Rollerson, to put together this program, Farm Fresh collection, that it accentuates a lot of the Florida greens that we grow, at the same time incorporating beautiful flowers from all over with them. It's a web image packet that you can buy for retail florists to populate their websites with, to get design ideas. It has recipes. There's just a whole lot of different components to it.
And well, that's true, because the industry, the greens have always been sort of a background player, and I've never realized how many different types of greens there are that you guys are growing out there.
Yeah, of course, we love selling leatherleaf because that's our bread and butter, and you can see it in my background picture. And that's what kind of pays the bills. But we're so much more than that these days, and we like to become more of a main stage character, I guess, in floral arrangements instead of being just only supporting cast. So it's just a way of getting that message out there, and hopefully providing a solution to a lot of retail florists around that would like to have real high quality images to populate their websites.
Well, it's a very positive thing, because a lot of the flower people are doing the same thing and trying to give somebody a finished product look anyway that they can build upon. So I think well, you've been sort of dabbling in this as Ferntrust for a long time, because you and I go back a long time, and you've had your ultimate bouquets and different things that are just add flower program, I think.
Yeah, we had the Just Add Flowers, we had arrangement starter kits, we had a whole bevy of different programs that we've done. And Ferntrust, was probably one of the original leaders as far as the greens industry went, in putting together value-added type products with our greens, where we weren't just selling bulk greens, but we were putting together actual bouquets and templates for starting arrangements. And I don't know, we've probably been doing that 15 years maybe or so. It's been a long time. A show in Austin, I believe, many years ago, that we kind of debuted some of the bigger arrangements that we were doing that way.
David, how many of the greens growers are participating? Is it widespread?
I think we have about 25 different members now. You can go onto the website, the floralgreensfarmersoflorida.com, and both purchase the program there, see with the wholesalers that are carrying it, and also see the members that will be able to provide these mixed boxes to fulfill this program.
David, I know that during COVID here that we're dealing with, growers had to be quite inventive to figure out how to get their product out to the market because the distribution system had been sort of crippled for a while, and you've had to be creative in how you're going to reach your customers that the product was still in demand in many cases.
We were very blessed here since we're in such a rural area that we were not touched by COVID too severely in our local area. So we had a lot of people that were willing to work and needed to work, and we had a marketplace that was looking for product, especially when the retail florists were allowed to start delivering products, not have their shops open, but were able to start delivering. But it was difficult finding the correct distribution channel to get to them. So, we've tried to refine some of that, and we worked on different things. We're branching out in a lot of different areas, and hopefully as an industry, we continue to evolve to do the ultimate thing, which is get the highest quality product to our end consumers where they can be happy with it and make sure that it lasts a long time and looks beautiful for them.
And David, Ferntrust is a co-op, if I remember correctly. Is that true?
It's a cooperative of growers. We formed originally back in the late 80s to be able to supply enough foliage to meet the demands in Europe. At that time, we were loading ocean containers for mostly for Holland to the market there, where it was distributed across the rest of Europe. And as times change, we lost a lot of the market share over there, and Ferntrust has evolved. A lot of the members that were members have been either bought out or gone away by my family members. So right now we are still a co-op, but it's basically owned and run by family farms here. We have one extra member that's not a family member. It's actually the president of the Florida Farm Bureau and my good friend and college roommate. So between in-laws and family, I think we have 10 different farms still, but they're all controlled by a member of the family.
Okay. And while we touched on COVID, how has COVID affected you guys? And you've had to change some of your policies on how you're managing the farm?
Yeah, it's not so much the farms outside, but inside our packing rooms and things like that. We try to be safe. We sanitize every surface several times throughout the day. We wear masks within our packing facility. We try to social distance as much as possible when you're in a enclosed, cooled area. I think one of the good things is with the cold inside, it doesn't spread quite as bad. Outside, the social distancing is pretty easy.
So how is the foliage business in general in your God's country, as you call it, out there in Seville, Florida, and Pearson and all those places?
I think it's starting to do pretty well. We had a terrible March in April. And of course, when you have that time right there preceding Mother's Day and Easter, it kind of hurts. And we were starting to get affected a little bit for Valentine's Day. So that first quarter of the year is going to be hard to overcome. But for the last several months, we've been keeping on a pace pretty close to last year. Some of the summer months, we were down 10, 15%. And I'm thinking a lot of that just had to do with special events and weddings not being there, because we do a lot of garlands and bouquets and things for weddings and special events. And our Color Fresh program was really big for special events. When I looked at it through August and September, August was basically just about even with last year, and we're actually up a little bit in September. So I'm being very optimistic that things are going to continue to improve throughout the rest of what's left of this year.
Yeah. Well, the business, from my perspective, what I've seen and talked to wholesalers and people, I mean, the business actually is quite strong, all things considered. I mean, the fact that the supermarkets were able to stay open and the bouquets were still selling, and once the wholesalers sort of got back up to speed, I guess the demand for flowers and fresh product since everybody's stuck at home, everybody's eager to put flowers and arrangements and whatever on the table to sort of brighten your day.
No, I agree. I think it's a wonderful way, you know, especially with social distancing and not being able to see your relatives, especially the ones that are more elderly. You want to be able to make sure they know that you still care about them. So, I mean, what better way than to have a bouquet of flowers and a nice note arrive on their door, at their door with, you know, something
Yeah.
that a good way to touch them.
Absolutely. I told my wife to go buy flowers every time she goes to the supermarket. I said, buy some flowers. So support the industry, but more importantly, it does work. I mean,
Yeah.
as much as I get flowers all the time, if I care to, but the fact that I can get them from the supermarket and the florist or wherever, it just makes sense to have them in your house at this point.
No, it does. I mean, we need all the joy we can muster in our lives right now with the craziness that's going on.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I think that's so. You grow a lot of different things. Not you grow magnolia branches, and you're also a cattle farmer, are you not?
Yeah, well, that was one of the things that did come out of COVID. My wife's family is in the custom slaughter business. They process beef and have been for 3 or 4 generations, their family business. And we saw, as you all saw, there was a huge demand for beef and especially more local grown stuff, because what's happened in the cattle industry, there's been a lot of consolidation of the packing house and processing plants. So only 2 or 3 places in the whole country process all the meat for the nation. And there was a real movement to get back more local on that. So we started growing out a lot of the calves that we were raising instead of selling them to people that would send them to feedlots out in the Midwest and North Texas. We're starting to grow them out here ourselves and sell them more locally to local people here. There are some hurdles to have to try to jump through to be able to do that, but we found a way forward, and it's been booming actually.
Good. So what's your outlook for the rest of the year? You and sort of beyond. You're obviously positive about it because we need to be.
Yeah, you know, I try to balance out some of the rest of my family. My dad especially seems like he always wants to look on the dark side of everything, and I try to bring the positive, optimistic side of all the things that are going right instead of what can go wrong, and you know, preach the message that quit complaining about stuff that you can't do anything about, and if you're not going to do anything about it, don't take action. You know, do something. If you want to go visit Washington, D.C. and talk to your legislators, do whatever you can to affect the situation you're in. But to sit around and just be depressed and wallow in whatever you're feeling is not a good place to be. No matter what, you know, you need to be active and take your message to the people that make the decisions in this country.
Absolutely, and obviously there's plenty of bad news. If you want to look at, if you want to see bad news, just turn the TV on, and there's just I told my wife this morning, just please turn the TV off. I'm tired of the ads. I'm tired of this whole thing. With the election and everything going on, there's just and fires and hurricanes. 2020's been a rough one, so I'll be looking forward to getting into 21.
I agree. About 2 years ago, I made the conscious effort. I used to listen to news radio a lot. I'm in my vehicle a lot, traveling between different farms, and made it a point to turn my radio to some music. I switched from country to classic rock to vinyl or whatever. I'm thankful for the Sirius XM radio right now because
Yeah.
I turn that on and I kind of zone out to everything else that's going on in the world as I'm traveling around, and I sleep much better at night now. You know, I try to limit my news intake to whatever I want to read when I want to read it, and go forward. And it's really helped me sleep better at night.
Good. That's a very good process and a good message, I think, for everybody. And hey, so I appreciate your time here. It's been interesting. I wish the green growers all the best, and I hope that we can actually meet in person someday. You and I have seen each other at a million conventions over the years.
One of these days we're going to get you back up here to the farm. It's been a while since you've been here.
It's been a while.
Back when you developed that sleeve for us, if you remember years ago, finally came up with that sleeve that we have patented and that we pack lead leaf into this day. So
I love it.
I'd like to like to get you back up here.
Well, yeah, as you know, I've moved to Central Florida here. I'm back in Orlando, and I'm a lot closer to you. And so it's I like going out and riding around in the country a little bit. You get to see the country here, and I'll put my motorcycle back on the road here and come up and see you sometime.
Sounds good, Willie. I
All
hope
right.
you have a good one.
All right, appreciate your time, David. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye now.